Okay. Hello. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
So this morning we have got a interview on Crime Fix. Let me see here. Let me hit this button. It's on the Crime Center YouTube channel, and we're gonna listen to it and watch it. So I'm gonna turn my camera around. I'm having technical difficulties again, as usual. But I think we can do it like this.
I'll get a quick walk.
Here we go.
Variety of things that were happening there.
Can you hear it, Brandy?
In the area of the courthouse that I think a lot of people wanted to keep secret. The days leading up to that deposition and the days following that deposition, he was looking around every corner. He had every reason to believe that there was a threat to his wife and daughter. You heard the testimony at the preliminary hearing that our client's statement was they were going to take or kidnap my wife and daughter. And that was a very real threat that the sheriff felt. And but there's a real husband, a real father, and a real human who was placed in a absolutely very delicate situation.
Guys, this is the bombshell interview just released by Anjanette Levy with Crime Fix. If you're not already a fan of hers, go over and check out her YouTube channel, and I'm certain you will be. She did a fabulous job tying this whole story together, in my opinion. And the attorney, Mr. Jeremy Bartley, he is brilliant. He dropped breadcrumbs to lead the community to exactly where he wants them to be, because he's aware that most of the community is already suspecting these things. Like I said, it was a fabulous interview. So let's get into it. And I want to know your thoughts. Absolutely. Let's go.
Body camera footage shows Steins being taken into custody.
Make sure there ain't no weapons or nothing now. Ain't nothing in there, bro. Yeah. Come on now. Right here, open up the back hatch. Come on.
You heard Steins tell the troopers to make sure there weren't any weapons in the back of the cruiser. He then talks a little bit more.
Y'all gonna leave me in here and let me die? I can't get up in there. Come on now.
You can tell he was so scared.
I can't. Yeah, man, I couldn't get in. These cuffs are way too tight. Come on now, guys. Come on now.
On the hour-long ride to the jail that's in another county, Steins practically sounds paranoid.
Come on now, guys. Make sure I get to the jail.
If you're not from Kentucky, you may not be familiar with this story. So Anjanette Levy does a great job of giving you the backstory, which is important. It's especially important for defense attorney Jeremy Bartley if he plans on using any type of insanity plea or crime of passion or anything like that. So she ties it together very neatly. That's upcoming. Also, the attorney is going to drop new details about why Mickey Steins was so paranoid and other things. So let's continue.
Sorry that my camera is
Now,
mirrored,
days
guys. I
before
can't
the
figure out how to
shooting,
turn it back
Mickey
around.
Steins had been deposed in a civil lawsuit filed by a woman named Sabrina Atkins. Atkins sued Letcher County after a former deputy named Ben Fields admitted to having sex with her when she was an inmate, and he was supervising her on home incarceration. Atkins said she couldn't afford a GPS bracelet, so Fields offered to help her out in exchange for her having sex with him in Judge Mullins' chambers. Fields was charged criminally and served 6 months in jail, and he's supposed to be on probation for more than 6 years. Atkins told investigators with the Kentucky Attorney General's office that she saw videotapes of Judge Mullins having sex with women.
But you saw the judge. Do you know for sure that was a judge? I mean, how do you know that's the judge?
I've been in front of him.
You know, that part aggravated me so bad, Ty.
What was happening in the courthouse play a role in Stein's shooting Judge Mullins? His attorneys most certainly believe so. Was the sheriff involved with the sex for favors in the courthouse?
The civil suit, the only reason that our client was named in the civil suit, and we're not representing him in that, but he was named solely as the sheriff. And the allegation in that case was solely that he failed to train this Ben Fields, who was convicted of having these sexual relations with people on pretrial release in the same chambers where these acts occurred. But I've not seen anything that substantiates anything of that nature against our client.
We saw the body camera footage that was released that we obtained earlier this month. Your client seemed very paranoid in this footage. He's asking where they're taking him, all of this stuff. It almost sounded like he was afraid they were going to take him in the woods somewhere and do something to him, or that he was going to be taken somewhere. I mean, did he feel an imminent threat? And was it because of this lawsuit, about the sex in the courthouse and all of these allegations?
If you'd like a one-word answer, yes. Yes, he did feel threatened. In the
By
days
Judge
leading
Mullins?
up, he felt threatened by.
Look at his smile.
I know.
I'm not going to say specifically who, but at this point, but he was concerned about if he said the wrong thing or if he had already said something that could cause people to want to retaliate against him, to cause harm to him or his family. Mm-hmm. Yes, he did feel that there was an imminent threat. And, is it related to the deposition? Well, in large part, yes. And about some of the things that were behind the veil were not operated the way they should be. I think there were a lot of things that he certainly would have been privy to, had been made aware of.
Exactly.
What
exactly.
happened? Sorry, guys. I guess that's a good spot to pause anyway. Let that sink in for a moment, what he just said.
Happening.
Because you think about it, with all the corruption and everything going on, he knew.
These
he knew he was in danger.
Mm-hmm.
Or I feel like he knew he was, he knows what happens. He knows what happens to people.
So did this lawsuit and what was happening in the courthouse play a role in Stein's shooting Judge Mullins? His attorneys most certainly believe so. And was the sheriff involved with the sex for favors in the courthouse?
The civil suit, the only reason that our client was named in the suit, and we're not representing him in that, but he was named solely as the sheriff. And the allegation in that case was solely that he failed to train this Ben Fields, who was convicted of having these sexual relations with people on pretrial release in the same chambers where these acts occurred. But I've not seen anything that substantiates anything of that nature against our client.
We saw the body camera footage
I thought that was important to reiterate.
That we obtained earlier this month.
Right.
Your client seemed very paranoid in this
with everything
footage,
coming out, nothing against him.
Where they're taking him, all of this stuff. It almost sounded like he was afraid they were going to take him in the woods somewhere and do something to him, or that he was going to be taken somewhere. I mean, did he feel an imminent threat? And was it because of this lawsuit, about the sex in the courthouse and all of these allegations?
If you'd like a one-word answer, yes. Yes, he did feel threatened. In the
By Judge Mullins?
He felt threatened by. I'm not going to say specifically who, but at this point, but he was concerned about if he said the wrong thing or if he had already said something that could cause people to want to retaliate against him, to cause harm to him or his family. Yes, he did feel the threat, and is it related to the deposition? Well, in large part, yes, and about some of the things that were behind the veil were not operated the way they should be. I think there are a lot of things that he certainly would have been privy to, had been made aware of, and I think that there was a concern that what he might say in that deposition could be harmful to others. I think that this caused him severe distress. And I think you see a person in the body cam footage that you have, you see a person who is completely outside of themselves, outside of the normal way that people were used to seeing the sheriff. And, the days leading up to that deposition and the days following that deposition, he was looking around every corner. He had every reason to believe that there was a threat to his wife and daughter.
I want you to kind of break down, Jeremy.
He had every
what
reason
exactly
to believe
you're
there was
looking
a
for
threat to
here
his
with
wife
the
and daughter.
criminal responsibility evaluation. I
do believe that his defense will in part rely upon a mental health defense.
I think this was a brilliant move by defense attorney Jeremy Bartley. In my opinion, I suspect that there are more people in Eastern Kentucky that believe the Good Old Boys Club does exist. And
it does.
Widespread.
Oh, it does.
And this interview may have been just what it took to confirm their suspicions, in my opinion. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below.
So there
I
we
would
have
appreciate
it.
it if you would like.
I'm going to turn us back around here. All right. So,
Considering what we know,
that's an older interview, but it just popped up on my feed last night for some reason. I don't know why YouTube does that, like why it's so behind sometimes. But that was about 8 months ago, but it's still valid. Like it's still the same, and now I think it's important to revisit these interviews because it shows now that things are coming out. It's showing people.
It's really showing there's more to it. There's more to it.
Yeah.
And you've got, our community, our little community right now it's fractured. You've got people that, on this side or people on that side and not really, I don't know. It's made such a divide when it shouldn't have. It should have pulled everybody together and, made them want to figure out, okay, what's going on? Let's fix this. Let's, have a, better future, better, than how things have been going. But, you can completely hear, his fear. And being a police officer and probably, like they said, privy to, information and things about what goes on in Letcher County, he probably was scared to death. Probably was scared to death what was going to happen.
I had a comment on TikTok. I'm respond. Somebody said, Jimmy John said, this is like a broken record. Not to be mean, it's the same thing day after day. Well, it may seem like that to you, but this is our lives, and lives are still at stake, and lives are still in danger. People are still missing. People are still being sexually assaulted and abused. People are still being beaten by our officers and things here. And we're going to be.
It has to be a broken record.
So if this isn't your content, scroll on. Keep scrolling. It has to be a broken record until we get the help that these people deserve.
Until something happens. If you don't
like that, then you can kick rocks with. So
yeah.
Until something happens. do something to change it. It's going to be a broken
And
record. We're not going to stop.
we have been trying to break up a lot of this and, do different things and, talk about different topics and, try to not, make it every single day. But the fact of it is nothing's changed. It's like one of these things that they think if it goes quiet long enough
Still
that it'll
have
just disappear again, you know. And
no. So to put that, like, I don't care if you're sick of it, because we have got too many lives at stake, too many victims. Whenever you've spoken to the amount of victims that I have, when you've heard their personal horror stories at the hands of these people, then you can
pictures
have
of
an opinion on the matter.
pictures of
But until then,
bruises,
you're
pictures
sorry
of,
about your luck.
I mean,
You don't like my content? There's plenty other there to
it's heartbreaking.
rate
And these are
in
people
people's
that are not
homes,
coming forward. They're scared to come forward.
inside
So
their
just
home.
because,
Yeah, that,
just because there's a few of us that are speaking out and
I
speaking
get
about
stacks of
things,
photos, and videos.
yeah.
Yeah, for every
So
one of us that is public, there's probably 20, 30 more that isn't,
that
that
hasn't,
can't themselves. So that's why we do this, is for them, the ones that can't.
that can't speak out yet,
Yeah. Or that,
and these stories are,
there's plenty of those too. There are just so many people that they've killed.
there's a lot of unanswered questions. There's a lot of misinformation. There's just a whole lot of stuff going on. And so, we're trying to give people a voice that don't have one. And so I don't know why that would bother anyone, you know. And yeah, like you said, it might be an older video, but it's important. It's very important. It
More relevant
it
because
validates there is something going on in that courthouse. That's what it did.
validates, like, from what they've been saying from the beginning, that everybody chose to ignore and tried to say, oh, he was just thought that he was just mad over his daughter and stuff. They have tried to spread so much misinformation.
Yes.
They've
It's
tried
almost
so
like a propaganda,
yeah. So that's what.
And it also states the fact that there hasn't been any come forward against him saying that he treated them in any way.
Like, that was true then, and that's still true today. Like, I've
Yeah.
asked of these victims that's had things to say about Michael Clark and Kevin Mullins, the doctor, whoever, and they all say that no, Mickey was never inappropriate with him like that.
No.
I mean,
And honestly, he never
about him, like, like tampering with evidence in a case or two, but never anything like to the sexual nature and
no.
the things that the others were doing. He
And can you imagine? Literally, this is how I kind of thought about this, and this is kind of what flipped my thinking. Could you imagine having a whole town full of secrets, and all those secrets, you've seen all them secrets, you've heard all them secrets, and you've got to go testify, and you're terrified. I can just imagine, the stress he was under. I'm not saying what he did was right, because I still got an issue
right.
with that,
But
but
pressure,
just the pressure,
just the pressure on him could have been enough to set him over the edge.
right?
Because
that's a lot. That's a lot. It's a whole town. It's 50 years, 50 years worth of, bull that's been going on. And, this opened the door for all this to, come out, to be spoken about, to be talked about. And, you can tell though by his, I just, like I said, he had the whole town literally on his back. trying to decide, what should I say? What did I say? Did I say something wrong? And I think, and this is just my opinion and my theory,
What
but I think he was a scapegoat. He's another Ben Fields, is all he is.
is what they were trying to do? Yeah, I think that. I believe that. Salty, I have a question for you. Are you familiar with? Hold on a second. It was. Shit, I lost my train of thought. It was something he said that triggered it, and I thought, I bet Salty has either seen or been over the depositions on. Has anybody even seen Mickey's deposition?
No. Well, no, I take that back. Yeah, I have. Liz read it.
Is that the
And
part that accidentally leaked when we found out that Daniel had threatened his wife and child and ordered him to bring him that money? Where was that at? Where was that?
that was actually somebody.
Part of the
Wasn't
grand
that
jury?
part of an interview or something? Somebody that they interviewed after the shooting.
Yeah, it was somebody they interviewed after the shooting. Absolutely. And
Um,
it's an official document, like it's been filed in with the
yeah.
rest. And I just cannot pinpoint. I can't find it. I can't remember where I seen it exactly.
It's,
And
if I'm not mistaken,
it's to go over and try to find it. So if anybody knows what I'm talking about, then drop us in the comments.
But I do think that they went over that because it come out during that Judge Kraft and the head of, or the guy over drug court, Robbie, had went and told Mickey they apologized to him for knowing but not coming and telling him. It come out all during that. So, and I'm pretty sure that's his deposition because they took a break. And like I said, we talked about it before.
The memory you triggered that I was trying to ask about. That them taking a break whenever Daniel Dotson stopped his deposition and pulled him out. It was in the Ben Fields case, wasn't it? It was in his civil or whatever.
It was the civil suit. His deposition in the civil suit with Ben Fields. Yes.
The interview and pulled him out, and then whenever that's the interview I want to hear.
Yeah.
How did that start? What was he saying exactly that triggered Daniel to stop the interview, pull him out, and what gave say whatever it is he said to him to give him amnesia, to remind him he's not supposed to be.
I'll try to see if I can find that, or see if somebody else.
Yeah, because like that's something that's getting left out of this. I think they're wanting to just focus on Kevin. They're missing the point of this involving all these other people who are still alive and are still a threat to us. Yes.
Working as usual, business as usual. Just, so, So yeah, I think that's
to do.
Breathe. Yeah, take a deep breath and breathe.
Let me take that little piece of advice.
Yes.
Yes.
Because it is upsetting. It is. Especially, you got to think what Ty's been through, what all's happened. And then like
they are still going to be out here putting us in danger.
Yeah.
If this all doesn't come out in Mickey's trial, we're still going to be in danger.
Yeah.
Even more so.
Yeah.
If they don't bring it out and put things out there and find them and arrest them.
Or
somebody's calling the shot. Somebody's telling them who the hot shot.
Yeah. There's been people go.
Coming from? Who's making those orders?
Right.
Who is it that puts the word down to not let this one go to jail or to not let them make it to jail when you arrest them?
I've seen all kinds of stuff here lately too about somebody that worked at the jail got arrested, but it wasn't even logged. Or does anybody know anything about that? Because that's kind of interesting, But like you were saying, this stuff's still going on. You would think after this they would have said, "Uh-oh, and stopped. But I think it's so big they can't.
Yeah.
Can't. So now it's just try to clean up and keep quiet things, and hopefully they think it'll go away.
Yeah. Like it always has.
Like it always has. Yep. There's always
Oh,
something, that happened. And you got to think a lot of these names that are being mentioned now, if you go and you do a little research, you'll find out that years ago they were arrested. They had other things going on, talking about Dr. Breeding and stuff. Years ago, he got in trouble and couldn't write scripts, wasn't it? He couldn't.
prescriptions, because was that during like that was when the opioid
Opiate
was
thing
really
was
kicking
going.
off heavy. They started the Casper and the doctor shopping
Yeah.
thing, like where they
And
monitor who gets a prescription, so you can't have more than one prescription from more than one doctor. You have to see the same doctor like regularly. Lots of
yeah,
rules and regulations to it. And yeah, the feds came in. What all did they find? Do you know?
I can't remember. I'll have to look it up, but I know he had gotten in some trouble. But the funny part about Letcher County is that instead of that standing, they turn around and put him over our programs like SOAR and HEAL, and they put him over these drug programs where he, if you take any kind of mat, you're not sober. They have all these
He carries a lot of stigmas himself about
a lot of stigma. But then you put him over the programs to help the addicts, and I just, it warps my brain. Who thought of that?
he used to fight against the mat and stuff before he got everybody
Yes,
addicted to opioids, like before he was like while he was taking part of the addiction
as far as I know, he's always been against any kind of mat.
against the mat, and now he's the head of it
Yeah,
after he got in trouble for writing too many prescriptions. So what kind of sense does that make?
yeah. Let's see. See what he did. Is that about Mickey or?
Life the way he knew it, no matter what he did.
Is that Mickey?
That's very true. Yeah,
Yeah.
like no matter which road he chose there, his life as he knew it was over anyway, I
Was
guess.
up. Well,
Yeah.
if you think during that deposition, a lot of things come out. He was taking the heat for what was going on with Ben Fields in the jail.
And hurt them, like that would have ruined his life just as much as, and they would, because look how many of us they have done like that.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
It's not like it was an invalid threat. Like he knows these
no.
people are fully capable of it because they've done it many, many times.
Right. That's what I'm saying. He knew what could happen.
Yes, he knew what was going to happen if he didn't stop it. Like, if somebody
So,
didn't stop it, I don't know, like, how any human being could be under that kind of pressure and not make
not
a
pop or
drastic
something.
decision.
Like I
in some
said,
point.
he had the whole town on his back. If you think about it, anything he said could have, crumbled. And he
Yeah.
was going to have to he was going to have punishment for something that, I don't know. Like I said, I just kind of feel like they used him as kind of a patsy, and he knew they was going to put everything on him.
Yes.
And that's just my opinion and my take on it. So do you want to start with reading maybe the Speak Your Piece? Our local newspaper has
I went and got a phone charger and your service dropped.
Oh, did mine? Or
Are you there?
I'm here. Can you?
No, I plugged up my phone.
Uh-oh. I can hear and see you, so I don't know if you can.
You can't see me?
I can see you and I can hear you.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, she'll be back, hopefully. It's still a big learning process for us. But, does anybody have any opinions or thoughts about, what they think was going on? Or because I know it's hard, I know it's upsetting, for Ty and some of the other victims, when it's like, other people see it as monotonous or just talking about the same thing over and over. But, there's so many hurt people, whether it's something big and serious or something small, but there's a lot of things that have affected the families in Letcher County, people losing their children, their freedom, and sometimes it just makes sense. So, you know, um, we're just trying to shine a light on it. Um, and, like Kai was saying, going back and looking at these older interviews, of what, Bartley was saying pretty much validates what the victims are saying. There's something going on in the courthouse, So, I wonder if Mickey knew when they ate lunch together that day that it's how it was in. I don't think he did. I really don't think he did. Because the way they talked about how they kind of joked with him at lunch. Like I said, this is all my opinions. So, but how they joked with him at lunch and everything. I think everything was kind of probably set in motion when he went to deliver meals that day. And that's just my opinion. You got to think they say he'd went days without sleep and, um, you know, he was in a psychosis. So, maybe he was on autopilot that day for a while until, you know, um, let's see, I think I heard something in the last few days as I was falling asleep about a CEO being arrested. Uh, I heard the same thing, and I also seen something I think on Facebook talking about that. But I can't find out a whole lot of information about it. So, you know, I agree with you, but it all happened so fast, like 0 to 60. Well, too, you got to think, it's starting to kind of come out now that Mickey was kind of everybody's punch bag. He was kind of everybody's, kind of butt of the joke. And so I think, you know, after this deposition happened and if everything, went the way they said it was, it's just, I honestly think something was said, like I said, during the delivery. I think that because when he came into that room, he was angry. He was angry when he entered the chambers. That was easy to tell anybody that knows Mickey. You could tell he was not happy about something. And, who knows what conversation happened and what was said or what led to that. Like I said, I don't agree with it, but hey,
Hey,
I've just
sorry
been
about that.
yakking. I've just been yakking away.
Okay, sorry
But
about that. I plugged my phone up and it cut my service for some reason. I don't know.
see, I've been looking at past newspapers and they're a wealth of information. Yes, but you've got to be very careful with the Mountain Eagle. That's all I'm going to say. In my opinion, they are very biased. They
They don't
lean.
even
Go ahead.
report some things. Oops, wrong button.
Oh,
Very one way leaning
very.
reporting.
We actually, proved a couple of things with a couple situations, that they decided to, I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, biased would be. So, I think that a lot of my information, a lot of what I listen to is Liz on Hillbilly Crime. I do. I go back and I listen to her reading the depositions, because those are depositions. Those are court documents that,
that have
you
been
know,
approved to
um,
be for him to be judged by, for these people to be judged by. So
yeah.
that's where, yeah, like if they're allowing it in
And
the
I'll tell
courtroom, then that's what we need to go by, because
you know, that's legal. That is already documented. That is already on the record. That is, you know, something that, you know, it's legal. You know, so anything in those are facts, you know. So I like to do that. I like to listen to those and, you know, make notes and kind of, you know, because you may listen to it one time and not catch something that you catch the second time you listen. You know, there
or
may
like
be
as
something,
information comes out, more information comes out,
it makes sense.
it makes the other stuff make sense and makes it, like something that you've already heard before. That's why
Yeah.
I think that we need to go back and find those depositions of the Ben Fields and the civil suit that they were bringing against Mickey and his testimony
Yeah.
in that, because I think
Because
that matters.
that's gonna have a lot of information in it. That's gonna have a lot of, you know, important things that I think's not being discussed, looked at. You know, when it's hard to get through Sabrina's, it really is, the way that she was talked to. It's
Somebody on TikTok said I have those depositions. Awesome. Can you share a link to me or something, please? She's going to send them to me. She's going to send them to me. So
Hi,
we will
Summer.
have that later and then go over them on here. So I wonder if Mickey knew when they ate lunch together that day that this is how it was ended. I don't know.
I said no. I said
Probably not.
I think they were, because if you listen to those,
Something
the
else.
statements after the shooting, you know, they were talking about how they were even picking on him, something
Yeah.
about it, the gun, and this and that. So I don't think that was the thought that day. I think what happened when they were delivering meals sets the whole stage.
Mm-hmm.
And we know who that was, and we know, you know, where's his deposition, or where's his, you know,
Do you happen to have
interview.
you seen Tiffany
He was the
Texas? Have you seen anything about Michael Clark's deposition?
No, I haven't.
Has
And here's
anybody
the
heard of
thing.
him giving a deposition? He was
He
present that
should
day.
have.
So where is it?
He should have, because he was the last person that having a conversation with Mickey Stein before he walked into the judge's office. So explain to me why his phone, he don't have a interview. Where's it at? What was said? You know, that 2 hour span of time is very, very, very important to what it led up to. So
Newspapers and their wealth of information. Somebody said that Mountaintop News was doing a good job.
I don't know if I'll be honest with you, I don't really watch the news. I just,
Either.
you know,
I have a shit ton of thoughts.
that's what we're here for. Just,
Yeah.
you know, tell us what you think. How do you scan the copy thing?
With your camera. You can also just type in buymeacoffee.com/Apple Dream or Apple. Hang on, what was it? There's an actual link. Yeah, at Apple or /Apple Dream. Hang on a second. Let me copy it.
And then, Mike,
right here in the chat. Okay.
and then mine is different, ain't it?
Hang on. Yeah, yours is different. Whatever you got your set at. /
I think I don't know what it is, Ty.
Okay, there's that one.
You'll have to look
You'll
at
have to
mine because I
look
have no idea.
Yeah, let me see. Let me look it up. Here it is. One happy memo. 13.
Okay.
Okay. Let me get back over here to the chat. See, I just found this morning where I can put these links in and display them up on the screen, but I have to put them in. So
Yeah.
I haven't done it yet. I just learned how to do it today. One happy memo. 13. There we go.
Yeah.
That'll do for now, though.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me see what she was saying. My email is appledream, isn't it appledream? Appledream at gmail.com.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also have
And then, you know,
Dropbox
anybody,
link too. I can send you if you want to just shoot me an email. Then I can reply with a Dropbox link. And if you have trouble sending it, I don't know how big the file is. I always struggle with that.
Yeah.
She said, Ty, think about this. What do people do to new people who are buying drugs?
I'm telling
What do
you,
you
it's
think?
scary right now. I mean, honestly,
Like how they're putting the other stuff in it, like the fentanyl and xylazine. And now there's a new drug that's like 100 times stronger than fentanyl.
it's like,
And
why?
Narcan don't
I
work on
don't
it.
understand why,
My
you
computer
know.
just... Okay, there it is. All right. Okay, I've got the speaker piece pulled up.
Okay.
Oh, they make them
Okay.
do it in front of them. Do they? I
Hmm.
don't know.
Speak your piece
People around
for
here ain't that
TikTok.
picky. They'll sell to anybody. The feds
I'm
bring
looking
it to
back
them,
today
and
at
then they'll sell it to
1995.
anybody because that's their goal, is to keep us addicted. They don't give a shit.
Angela, I can, around 90, 92 is when all my
Make sure
stuff,
they're not snitch.
you know.
Well, I mean, maybe elsewhere, but people don't really care about that here. Like, because regardless, it don't matter. Like with the girl that set me up with the Suboxone, I gave her a Suboxone. I didn't take money for it. Gave it to her because
Right.
I felt sorry for the bitch, and she was driving me fucking crazy. Gave her a Suboxone. My codependent gave her a Suboxone, and somebody else up there sold her a bag of meth. She sat down and done the shot of meth on camera, and then we still got convicted of selling her Suboxone. So it don't make
Right.
like what the snitches do. They'll do the drug. They don't give a shit. They still smoke it.
Yeah.
A lot of them won't use needles, but they'll do the drug. They'll still do the fucking,
Yeah.
She said, my point is, what do you think they tried to do to Mickey? I wouldn't doubt if they dosed him, if they tried to drug him.
I thought
But
that.
to me, that kind of paranoia that he was displaying was not drug psychosis. That's not what
That is
happened.
lack of
He
sleep.
wasn't seeing shadow people and shit. His threats were very real. So
And
I
he
don't
had
think
no
it's because of
sleep.
drugs.
Sleep
And he hadn't had no
deprivation
sleep
can
because he
cause,
was being kept up with this, like the fucking fear and pressure. And
I mean, his wife, you know, his family, his reputation, everything was at stake, you know, and he also had everybody's secrets that he had to protect.
Yeah.
You know, or felt like he had to protect. You know, that's why I said I felt like he had the whole town on his back.
Yeah.
But, you know, lack of sleep deprivation, if you look up I mean, it describes almost him to a T, you know, with the psychosis and seeing and hearing things. And, you know, so I don't know. I don't, the drug thing about him being dosed, I don't
I
know
mean,
if it,
it's possible, and I wouldn't put it past them, but I don't
but
think
it
that's what
could
that
be
was. I
also
really
the
don't. He
stress.
didn't look to me like he was messed out. He didn't act like he was.
No, he didn't.
That's not how people act on these drugs here. These drugs here got people doing this.
Yeah.
Fucking acting retarded. Like, that's
They
not...
look like they're possessed.
They look like they're possessed. You can tell when somebody's on the dope. Like, it's very clear. Because the dope here ain't even like real dope. What we used to do. Whenever we did meth, we did ice. That's not what it is now. That is not what it is. It's
I've heard
dope
nothing is
and
what it used
fucking
to be.
all kinds of shit mixed in. People fucking shooting up motor oil and stuff. And putting this xylazine and stuff in it, and then they're cutting it with lye so that it'll eat people's arteries and veins on the inside, Yeah.
See, I haven't been around and, you know, stuff in a very long
said,
time.
I'm saying they didn't have dirt on Mickey, so he was a threat. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Like, and I think that was part of like the misinformation at first, was trying to make it seem like he was dipping into the dope.
Yep. No, I don't think that was a problem
That
at all.
was, I think that was just propaganda. misinformation, trying to take part of,
Yeah.
plan ideas for a cover up.
I'm seeing names that appear to be family in the law court system, etc. There's
Yeah.
yes,
Honey,
nepotism. I told Ty, I said
Listen,
8:30 every morning at the Letcher County Courthouse is family reunion.
Yes.
Basically, everybody is kin to everybody. If you have a job with the county or the court, you have a family member that's had a job there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's insane, but it's been this way. I mean, as long as I can remember, even getting any jobs in the county at all, you had to know somebody or you had to
You
be
have to
kin to
have a foot in the
somebody.
door somehow. Have somebody to
Some
drop
way.
the word for you or something.
Yep. Or, you just didn't have access to it. And, and then if you did have access, it was usually on the wrong side of the law. Honestly, I mean, the only other people, involved in stuff was, so.
All right. Are we going to do speak your piece?
Yeah. You want to explain maybe TikTok? It's our local paper is called the Mountain Eagle, and it has a little comment section in it where you can call in or you can email or you can write, and people just basically, you can say what you want to. It guards the First Amendment.
Sometimes the editor will respond, but not usually. Most of the time,
not usually. So it's usually just whatever people want to say.
They calls them out directly or something, or ask a question directly, they'll answer it there.
Yeah.
But mostly,
Diamond said, "Love the
whatever.
shirt."
There's a phone number. They've got an email. They've got you can mail it in and put it on the subject line. It says put speak your piece. Like if you email it, the email address is mt-neagle@bellsouth.net. So if anybody wants to call in and put on their own opinions, there you go.
Yeah. That works.
It is a good tool for our community to be able to say, be able to speak openly and, say it to publicly.
Yeah.
It's a nice way to exercise your First Amendment. But it does tend to piss me off.
Well, I mean, that's part of it,
Yeah. That's part of it.
Part of it.
Yeah. Okay,
usually they prove that, they make an ass of themselves. So, okay.
She's going to have to get her a shirt. Yes, they've got them at Walmart.
I know, they're so comfortable. So we twinsied this morning. Like,
Diamond, you want to tell Brandy your good news?
What is it?
She had a big win this week or last week. I don't know if it's this week.
What happened?
She's gonna have some free time and stuff on her hands. They she's beat her. They finally closed her CPS case and everything. And
congratulations!
Yeah, it's over. It's over.
Congratulations!
Yeah, so congratulations. That's huge. I told her we've got to celebrate. We need to have a girls' day.
A girls' day. Yep. Just I love girls' days. I get to run away.
Pinata Saturday. There she is. CPS closed my case, she said.
Congratulations. That's great. Don't happen very often.
Right? You've done something.
Don't happen very often. You accomplished something.
That's a big thing to celebrate, for real.
Yep.
It ain't easy. All right. Do you want to just read them all? How are we going to do this?
I'll let you read them and then we'll comment. Because you know how I am with reading.
Okay. The first one's going to piss some people off. It is so embarrassing to be from Letcher County because of how the people act and speak on the internet. Not because of how they act on the streets. It's like watching an episode of Squidbillies, but all the squids are lot lizards wearing oversized discount dentures and ranting about nonsense on TikTok while high as a kite. Not all of us here consider ourselves to be hillbillies or rednecks. It would be nice to see a normal person representing this area in the media someday.
Well,
I feel like I'm
I don't
pretty
even I don't even put
highly
my oversized
educated.
dentures in. So
I don't have oversized dentures, so yeah, I don't
I
think
don't
any of
even
us
wear
do.
mine.
I don't think any of
So
us do. I don't even know who they're talking about. And I don't know about
so
being high as a kite either. So
no,
I think that's
that's
pretty
no longer
clear that that's not true. All right.
no.
So, what has happened to all the grant money for the water and sewer system in Neon? That's a good question. I don't see where any work's been done. This little old lady at Seco wants to know. I know that some months back they had such a big problem that they weren't sure that they were going to be able to fix it, and they were bringing in water from other counties. We were having to pipe water. Dusto
Yeah,
would have to pumping it from other places to
yeah,
Neon and hauling it like in trucks and stuff because they had such a big problem with their water system.
yeah. That
I don't know
flood
what happened.
destroyed Neon, bless its heart. It did. That
Yeah.
flood come in and it took out, and they still haven't built back, where they should be.
She said it didn't look drug induced to me either. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It
No.
did. And yeah, she was asking about trank. Yeah, there is a couple different kinds of trank that they're cutting the dope with. The xylazine isn't the only one, and Narcan doesn't work on that.
Yeah. See, I have no idea about none of that. Ty educates me all the time because she keeps up, with stuff and everything, and I should,
Well,
but
I'm part of a harm reduction collaborative group, and we
right.
do a lot of like research and research panels and things like that to help people like in the field of addiction and harm reduction. We had a vending machine made that like distributes not only needle exchange but also like MREs and water, and you can schedule appointments with behavioral health or with with a MAT facility or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, we all have past. We all have past. And I mean, things like that, oh my gosh,
It
would
makes
have saved so many
Listen,
people back
Liz
in the
was
day
talking
getting
about this
sick.
statistic the other day. She was like, she wasn't sure about like how the harm reduction thing with the needle exchange was really working or not. And so I gave her some numbers. At the close of our last group, we had over 8,000 dirty needles turned in to that vending machine.
You're
That's
kidding.
8,000 needles that's not laying beside the road
On the
for
ground.
children to step on or for somebody to
Exactly.
touch and grab and get diseases from or,
Get sick.
overdose
Yeah.
from. Yeah, it gets it off the streets.
Right.
So, like, they're going to do it regardless until they are ready to face that and to come off of it. Then
Yeah.
nothing's going to change that. And for most people that use the needle, it's not even about the drug; it's about the needle itself.
It's a
Where the
self
addiction
harm.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
it's
self
the self
harm.
harm aspect of it. So, and while that may seem like enabling to some, I don't see it that way. I really firmly believe in harm reduction. Yes, plus
Right.
she said plus they aren't spreading disease.
Right.
Yes, we have a really big problem with Hep C and HIV here.
Yes.
HIV is on the rise, so drastic measures must be taken. Like, so if you don't approve of a needle exchange, that's fine. You don't have to use it or access it, but you're not going to look down on people who do choose to be responsible with their use and
Yeah.
use. You know what I mean? Like, we're trying to change
And the
this
Narcan
and make a
and the
difference like, where
Narcan
it matters in
I
our
keep
lives.
I keep it everywhere. I
Yeah,
keep it
yes.
in every
My
vehicle
carry
I
is
own.
stocked. I keep one in my purse, and Leah carries it. Everybody carries it because
Yep.
just because
You
you're not
never
a drug
know.
user doesn't mean that you're not at risk for overdosing on one of these dangerous drugs. You can
Yep.
take money from an ATM somebody snorted a line of fentanyl off of and flop you out and kill you dead right there where you stand, especially if you're not used to having an opiate in your body,
Right.
especially
Right.
if your receptors aren't used to that. Like, the risk is real, and this is about saving lives. It's not about
Stigmas.
prohibitions and stigmas
Yeah.
and condemning people for their choices. We're trying to give
It's
them more
trying to
choices,
help
and
them.
then
You're
offer the
trying to help them.
resources. We also offer resources whenever they are finished, whenever they are done and want to make the change and move
Yep.
on with their lives, stop using. We're there for that too. So,
Yep.
yeah, we try to provide, behavioral health and things like that. Barrier relief. We had this awesome pilot program that we ran recently. It was our last big thing. We had a barrier relief fund, and anybody that needed, we provided bicycles and scooters, things like that, for people that needed, that didn't have transportation to get to the needle exchange, or to get to their Suboxone doctor, or to get to their counseling meetings or court meetings or whatever. We would provide things like that. I think we bought a few air conditioners, gas cards. We did a lot of $50 gas cards, just so that people can get back and forth to the doctor and shit. Like these, there's too many restrictions and barriers to recovery and reentry, like from prison and things. So hi, April, I miss you, girl. You better come up here and have a cup of coffee with me sometime. I know you're close. I can feel you. All right, let's see. Okay, let's go on to the next. Where are we at? What is it going to take to get some of these dope heads off the street? Another week of peddling dope for the good old neon boy. The addiction of this county is so sad, all due to the negligence of police officers, negligent doctors, and negligent court system. Maybe the local hospital and clinics should call and do some pill counts. I know a couple who would surely be hurting. Right. I live in a community of nothing but hypocrites who go to church and talk about it. But there may be one of them who is a true Christian. I've heard them beg for money and ask for this and that, and when it comes to helping someone else, it's a different story entirely. When you go to church on Sunday, you might want to pray for yourself. You so-called Christians have a lot to think about. Some of you are even preachers.
Yeah.
This past Mountain Heritage Festival is the worst one. I didn't even go. I've been to
I didn't
in
either.
my life. It was pitiful. There was no hot dogs and pop at the bank parking lot. There was a food truck where you had to buy your food, and people who had their booths up and down the street couldn't sell their wares because no one was there, since they didn't have free hot dogs and drinks. If that's how it's going to be, I won't be back. To Elizabeth Jones, wannabe investigator. Maybe you'll keep digging up information on Preacher Man to hurt him, but you cannot do one show without mentioning his name. You're sick. You need help with that obsession you have. The difference between him and you, he is working for the Lord, and you may be working for Satan. Wow, you got that one backwards.
Yeah.
But you maybe, just maybe, you might find what you are looking for. What is TikTok doing? It's making me solve a puzzle. Hang on. Stupid. Okay. Maybe you might find what you were looking for. You cannot have that much hate and get to heaven by saying what you want and then by acting all holy. It doesn't work that way. Right, Michael Clark, Preacher Man.
Got on there asking for gas money, and
God don't
it's
whip his dick
waving
out and
at
show
you.
it to his congregation, y'all.
So, and the reason, again, the reason she's talking about it is to bring awareness
To bring
to
awareness
what he's
to what
doing,
he's doing and his
what he's
evil activities
done.
in the darkness, what he's doing in the darkness, and then
Right.
pretending to be a light for God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
200. There's been a, where'd the money go? HUD. Said heaven has nothing to do with this. That's Clark, right?
well, the thing of it is, with him, we could go on and on and on, which we probably will do one on him,
Yeah,
but
it's coming.
It's coming.
So I was in Judge Kraft's courtroom about 2 weeks ago when I was trying to listen to a case the Commonwealth of Kentucky had against a younger, pretty female. I could hardly hear them, but I did hear that she had 4 felonies, and they dropped them down to misdemeanors over fraud. Matt Butler did not prosecute the girl's case. It was someone else. I was just wondering what is going on and how that happened.
That's business as usual, really. I don't know.
Business as usual. Yeah. After
That's
looking in the
normal.
newspaper this week, I see where one of my neighbors got himself into trouble with drugs. Wonder why he got in trouble when people in Doty Creek can sell drugs without anything happening to them. I swear to God, my entire life, I think there's been something in Speaker Piece every single week about the drug dealers in Doty Creek that nobody does about. He said it's Bubba. That's him that writes that every week. There's a man that lives up there that ain't he's not there. He said that's Bubba that writes that every week.
Yeah. Been writing it for years.
Ron said, "You think they'd let me be a preacher there?"
Honey,
They let
anybody can be
everybody
a
else.
preacher. Except a woman. Except a
Except a
woman.
woman. Yeah, God forbid. It's pitiful what's in the news. People in other counties are going to jail for selling their fentanyl, but here in Letcher County, they cover things up for the drug dealers. They sell their fentanyl, and they sell their meth, and they make their meth, and they are still free to run up and down the road all day long. So what's going on here in Letcher County? And then they arrest the users. They let the drug dealers sell so that they can arrest the users and recycle us into their rehab and drug programming and keep us looped in the system. That's how their slavery operation works.
Yep.
That's the answer to that. So, I would really like to know what's going on in Letcher County. Most of you people don't do your job at all. I have never seen so many lazy people in my entire life. Is it just the new generation? People used to do the job they were hired to do. Now they look at you like, oh, do I have to do something? The hillbilly crime lady's level of delusion is unbelievable. And this is the one that I was like, oh my God, this person is so ignorant and uneducated. And I think,
Oh, yeah, we'll talk about this
see.
one.
I don't know if it's this one or the next one that's about her, but it's one of these. There's one in here that I was like, wow. The hillbilly crime lady's level of delusion is unbelievable, and her audience is just as bad. She knows nothing about law or facts. She just blurts out what she thinks is truth. She talks downright nasty, but claims she's a Christian. I've never met a Christian that acts and curses the way she does and then prays to Jesus. She's a hypocrite and still addicted to drugs, even if she's now legal. You can't take Suboxone for 15 plus years and not be addicted to it. She never said that she's not.
No.
That's what medicated assisted treatment is. It is having something to let your body and brain function because you're
Normal.
Yeah, because you can't function and be normal as an addict with. Yeah, that's just uneducated. All right, her hatred toward preacher man is unreal. Yeah, I wonder why. I bet it's because every job she wanted, he took them from her. Did he? Preacher man never took a job from Liz. The fuck?
No.
She says it's because he makes fun of her Jesus. He does.
His Art
does.
made his little bubble for him.
He mocks God.
Yeah.
So I beg to differ. If anyone makes fun, look in the mirror, oh hillbilly, you're a mockery for what Jesus stands for. No, she actually speaks greatly and stands for what Jesus stands for. So
yeah.
Elizabeth Jones of Hillbilly Crime. Your best buddy is a thief who got fired from Food City Wine and Spirits for stealing. Your other buddy's in jail for drugs. The one who lied on News Nation. And more of this shit. Yeah, of course, we've all been in jail for drugs. You fucking idiots. What the hell's wrong with y'all? Obviously, that's the fucking problem here.
Yep.
Oh, these people are stupid. And you wonder why people call us backward fucking hillbilly rednecks. It ain't because of what we are doing. It's because of how y'all act.
No, we have reactive abuse. I mean, we're abused, and then when we react about it or anything, we're being, irrational. We're, how dare
or just
you,
horrible because we've been to jail for drugs. Woo! Like,
or something.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
These people are retarded. So
God forgives.
Okay, here we go. This one, it pisses me off. Said another one so fat and ugly, I can't see anyone, much less a judge, sleeping with her. Anyone you don't like, you go after them. Doctors, lawyers, hospitals, clinics, and the preacher man. You should be ashamed. Yeah, you should be ashamed for defending these predators. You should be ashamed for defending these predators.
Yep.
And for fucking body shaming. For real. Mean girl much? The fuck? That shit ain't cute.
And let me tell you, when
Ugly
Ty
heart, ugly
was
self.
young, she looked like a little Indian princess.
I still
She
do.
still
The fuck
does.
you mean?
She still does, but she was
Right.
absolutely gorgeous. She still is beautiful, but
And I didn't
I'm
know I
just
was fat. I
saying,
didn't know size 6 jeans was fat. Did you?
I
I don't know.
didn't.
I didn't know.
So,
I guess I'm fat because I have big boobs. So, um, this says you should be ashamed. Your audience is as bad as you for passing judgment on people they know nothing about. That's why we're educating on
so they
you
can
about
know
these
about it.
people so that you can know about them and how fucking horrible they are. So
Yeah.
it says all your so-called information is lies. No, it's not. It's
No,
facts.
it's not.
Proven facts. Comes from druggies. Many of them kicked out of rehab. Many of them choose
Wonder
to
why.
leave the rehabs because they didn't want to be there being fed drugs in the first place. Alcohol on the weekends, fucking glorifying it and wanting to keep people in the addiction.
Yep.
Wait till this ARC investigation comes out. It's going to blow the fucking top off of some of these people's opinions.
Big time.
Some of us normal people sit back and wonder what you will be doing once this Stein's killing is over with. I'm going to be making money, honey. Changing the world. I don't know about you. You can stay in your misery, I
But see,
guess,
that's
because
another
we got
thing
shit to
of
do.
trying to put division in there.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? You know, they'll start out with
Trying
Liz, and
to
then they
discredit
tear
us
you apart.
based
They tear
on
Sarah apart.
previous drug charges and stuff. Obviously, that this is exactly what we're exposing. So thank you for reiterating that. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to put your evil intent to God's good. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Yes. So everybody knows that Doty Creek is loaded with drug dealers. If the sheriff wants to catch him some, maybe he ought to come down and have him a roadblock and check some of them packing their drugs in and out of the neighborhood.
That's still the same one, you think?
Probably. So, dear Tony Sturgeon, please come back to the Letcher County school system and be the head of the math department at Letcher Central and direct all the math classes in Algebra 1 and 2 and Calculus.
He
A
was my
certain,
Algebra 1 high school teacher,
was he?
actually. Yeah.
A certain man takes care of all your party needs while his wife takes care of your husband's. It's an all-around service. This is to the point, newspaper man. Publish it. Has anyone seen any blood on the wall? Has anybody seen any blood on the windows? With 8 shots, there should be blood running everywhere. This is a good cover-up story for Whitesburg so everyone could get out of trouble.
You know, that fits in with a conspiracy, you know.
Yes.
That's what I was saying, me and you was talking about. There is this case going on, what happened with Mickey and Kevin, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there is so much more that
That's
involves
not being
money.
reported on that matters.
It's
Yeah.
just being overlooked,
And
you
yet
know.
there is no blood in those videos. It's weird.
Yeah.
Weird. And there was no headshots. Mickey's trained. Mickey knows how to make a kill.
Oh yeah. I don't know. You know, like I said, that's one of
If he
those
was going to
things, you
just
know.
execute him, why didn't he just give him a headshot? There
You
wasn't
know.
one. That's a good question. That's a very good question. That's a very good
Something to think about. Something to think about, you know.
yeah, something to think about.
And
Not me
that also
trying to know
proves that there's so much more underneath this story between Mickey and Kevin. There's so much more that goes so much deeper that, you know, involves CPS. It involves drug court. It involves, you know, there's the jail, the rehab. So, I mean, there's a lot of missing funds and things that just, you know, things just don't add up. So, you know.
Okay, so I saw where Elizabeth Jones on Hillbilly Crime was saying the Whitesburg mayor should speak out about things going on at the jail. This is the one where I was like, okay, this person's very misinformed. I don't think that they even know what they're talking about. Said, is she so stupid she doesn't realize the city of Whitesburg doesn't run the Letcher County jail? Is she really that stupid? Okay, ask yourself that question because the Letcher County, the Whitesburg City Council, and the fiscal court do actually have oversight over the jail.
Right. And
They are.
so if it's the county if it's the county, then our
They're
county
not the only ones
attorney.
that are supposed to be like having oversight and say and everything, but it's the fiscal court that distributes the fund. The city of Whitesburg City Council are the ones who like run the boards and stuff over it.
Right. And so, you got to think, if
Yeah.
there is wrongdoing,
Justice
why
said
ain't
that's
our
definitely
county
we're
attorney
going to
doing
explain
something?
Okay, yeah. So they're not affiliated with the city. So the fiscal court's not officially affiliated with the city. That's
So they're
what that
county,
is.
like I said. So that means the county attorney should be the one stepping forward and pressing charges on
Which
all
would
these
be
things.
Jamie.
No, that would be
Jamie
Jamie Hatton.
County steals their cops all the time.
said that the city's pissed off because the county steals their cops all the time because they pay them more.
Yeah.
So, okay. Let's see. Hold on. Let me find the rest of this one. There we go. Says, I can't believe anybody listens to that idiot. She has no clue what she's talking about. She doesn't understand jurisdiction, doesn't understand anything except gossip and rumors, and the most jealous spirited human being I've ever seen. Jealous of anybody who got a job and kept their job after they recovered from addiction. She might be able to do the same if she could keep her mouth shut. She does have a job. This is her job. That is her job. Why do y'all think that just because that we have why do people say that? Get a job.
I don't know. I've worked harder at this than I ever did.
On anything.
College, whatever, because it means so much to me. I feel like I'm doing something not just to better me, but to help others and help, in their situation, and if
Sounds to me
talking,
like this person is just jealous that she has a successful channel and runs her own business.
yeah.
That's what that sounds to me.
I mean, there is a lot of people frustrated with her, but the fact of it is, she gets on there and she tells the facts, and she's reading court documents. I mean, so how do you get that's any kind of lie? So
right. So we've got our mayor wants Neon to be more like Mayberry. We already have an Otis who can be Andy. Donald J. Trump, the deranged criminal, serial rapist, and pedophile Russian puppet, and wannabe God King of the entire world, has finally made the mistake that should bring him down, along with his entire cabal of handpicked accomplices. While he has long been a traitor to the U.S. by any dictionary definition, he has so far managed to skirt the constitutional definition. That ship has sailed. Now, Article 3, Section 3, Clause 1 states, treason against the United States shall consist only in levying war against them or in adhering to their enemies, giving them aid and comfort. Is anyone stupid enough to not recognize that sending active military into American cities and using bold-faced lies as rationalization is absolutely levying war against our own country and the American people? I think that these people just can't see how deep the fucking corruption and evil really is and how much it penetrates into our societies.
Right.
Like, this is happening here at home. This isn't happening on foreign ground.
Honestly,
this is home. This is America.
I'll be honest with you. It's hard to wake up. It's scary to wake up. It is something that when it happens, you can't unsee it. You know what I'm saying? And so, the rose-colored glasses that you wear that make you feel safe and secure and everything else, when those come off and you see what actually is going on in our government and in our local government and, everything else, it's hard. It's like you realize that all this, things you learned in school and different things, was it, was we being trained? Don't question anything. That was pretty much the way it was when I was, the difference is this, and you ladies are standing by your comments. Those that are sending it in to are doing it honestly.
The truth tellers are always hated. It's deep. They are still asleep. They're in denial. Everything we were taught is a lie. Indoctrination is the name of the game. Yes. And you can see it like clearly in Speak Your Piece. I think like the impact that it's had, the indoctrination and stuff. Like, I think it's obvious to me, like, now that once you awaken, you can't unsee it.
You can't.
See it. Like
You
it
know?
ruins it all. Like that's it. Like you cannot unsee it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
That is true.
But I've been trying to reach out to Nicole. If you speak to her, tell her to get up with me. Okay, send me a DM, Kelly. I don't know which Nicole you're referring to.
Hi, Stacy.
Who we got over here in these comments? Let's see. All right, here we go. Well, never got a job without knowing someone here, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Hair sticking straight up.
Hope I'll stay at the school with in the Walmart parking lot.
Didn't we see something
She
last
said it
night
is a
about
job.
the?
Yes, I know. All right, let's see. Keep up the good work and don't worry about stupid. That's good advice. Tiffany said we didn't choose to be awake. God chose it for us. That's right.
Yeah.
That is absolutely right. Let's see what Stay Hot said. The difference is this: Liz and you ladies are standing by your comments. Those that are sending it in to speak your piece are doing it anonymously. That's a coward.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Anybody's welcome on the show. I
Oh,
mean,
look who it is. Look who it is.
that's what I said. I said, hi, Stacy.
She's up and on here in our comments. Hello. Let
I
me
hope
see
you're
if I
feeling
can.
better.
Let me jump over here and grab her link. So
Yeah.
since she's on here, I want to go ahead and put her link up there for her GoFundMe. And Stacey, since you're nice and awake now, I will go ahead and send you your the link so you can set it up to withdraw your funds and have it sent straight to your bank account. So share fundraiser to copy the link.
I'm glad you're up, girl. I hope you're feeling better. Been saying prayers for you.
Paste. Okay.
That's for Stacy and her medical bills and
In this.
whatever she needs it for.
Yes. We'll leave that pinned up for right now. She said you girls should write a book. We we are. I have just published 2 books. One's a shadow work journal, and the other one is kind of like a memoir style of the spiritual side, more spiritual side of my awakening and things, and through this process. And then the next one, though, I'm waiting for Mickey's trial and things to be over with for the next one, because I want it to have all of it.
And right now, I'm putting mine into writing a book for my grandbabies. It'll be.
Like she said, what gets me is they didn't want to give Elizabeth a job, but look what they did with Michael Clark. Right? Like they don't want her to have a job because she's a truth teller and she ain't want to stand for their bullshit. And they've used Michael Clark to grow their dirty little empire.
Well, he bragged about. Oh, I was just in jail with these guys, and stuff like that. It's like putting a fox in the hen house. You know what I mean? You're going. That's who you're going to push forward to help end addiction. Someone with that many drug
somebody who's
trafficking
going to hold
charges
rehab
and
beds, use sex in order to get you to a rehab bed. Oh, you got to send me naked pictures. I'll get you a bed.
yep. And then they go to get the
Meet me over
bed,
here at
and
this
nobody's
motel.
heard
I'll
of
make
them.
sure you get a space in rehab.
Yeah.
And then some people have went and did that for him and then drove hours away to go to this rehab who's never even heard of them, who he didn't even contact. Left her sitting beside the road after he has already sexually assaulted her.
Yep.
And demanding it in exchange for rehab. Left her sitting beside the road with no bed.
Oh.
She said, I have 16 staples in my head and it's painful, but I'm a warrior though, and I'll be all right in a month. That's right.
That's right. But we're going to still pray.
Who's the HR manager of what?
I don't even think
I don't know. I don't think we have one. I mean, of where?
No, for
For where?
anything.
The courthouse? There's one for the hospital. Keeping mouths shut is the reason Eastern Kentucky is in this hush-hush situation. Exactly. Yeah.
Amen.
Amen.
We've always been 20 years behind.
Yeah, he did.
Technology, everything. I mean, we've always been behind. And now that we're catching up and things are, you know, I'll be honest, the cell phone is what brought their little playhouse down
Mhm.
because the girls was smart. They started keeping messages. They started videoing things. They started, if you were being harassed by someone, to show your body so your husband can call you, they were smart enough to keep this, to hang on to it.
Mhm.
And, technology brought it down because I guess they thought, they wasn't smart
thought they
enough.
were
They didn't think they were
invincible.
smart enough.
Yeah.
So you'll have to, we've got all kinds of perverts here in high positions.
Mhm.
Why did Michael Clark recuse himself if he wasn't involved? Good question. Good question. Why did he give up his position at the church in Whitesburg that he was a pastor over? There's a lot of
I heard
questions
that
about
somebody that they
him.
took that video and showed it to him, but they had already decided they was going to forgive him and stuff. Yet he continues to send it to people. He continues to abuse them. What the
Yep.
fuck? I just lost my screen.
Yeah, okay.
But he got caught, and he wasn't in his throes of addiction when he sent that. Right. He claimed it at first that it was when he was in the throes of the addiction. It's all time stamped and date stamped. The videos and stuff are of when he
Yeah.
sent them. It was recent. It wasn't
Yeah.
back 10 years ago. Whenever he was still running.
Yeah. Remember the
Yeah.
question? I remember one that said question everything. So that's me. That's why I'm with I question everything.
Yeah.
See people with their minds filled with white picket fences and vinyl and mentions need to wake up, fear mongering, sexual perversion with authority figures. Yes.
That they vote for.
That
Yes.
they vote for. Yes. This, I think that when Mullins was appointed by Andy Beshears,
Yes,
wasn't it?
and then never opposed.
Yeah. Never had anything ran after that, which, like we said, he wasn't all bad. He did do favors for people, and he was in some cases and with some people he was a decent person, but then you have people that he took total advantage of and was
Both can
disgusting.
be true. Yeah, both can
So
be true.
yeah, both, and that's how that's how people are with Mickey. Like I never had a problem with Kevin or Mickey, either one. Neither one of them treated me disrespectful. They were both respectful with me. But, it was a situation of, that might be my experience, but yours is completely different, So, that's why I think the county is really kind of split right now because it's just unimaginable what's happened. And then all this stuff that's coming out that could have been the reason why it happened is just, it's hard to digest.
Yeah.
Especially for people that have had blinders on for 30 years,
Yes. I just lost my tablet again. All my devices are dying.
No.
It's okay. That's so dumb anyway. I gotta go make lunch in a minute. This person said, remind us who Stacy is. I'm across the country. Stacy is our friend. We did a little segment about her dad. He was given a hot shot and left to die up on a mountain. And
He was one of our safe people.
He was one of our safe people. He knew a lot. He used to do a lot to help us in these situations. And he knew a lot about the courts. And the dirt that they did on a lot
Yeah.
of different, and we believe that like that they could
He
be.
has a suspicious death.
He had a very suspicious death.
Yeah.
So, but anyway,
And
Stacy has just had a major surgery. They shaved her head and they went into her skull and her trigeminal nerve. They had to do repairs to it. She's got MS, and it's been very difficult and very painful.
yes.
So hopefully this is going to help her. Is there a workbook for the shadow workbook? Yes, there is. Hang on, and I'll pin it. There you go. You can access that on the Buy Me a Coffee website too. And then here is my memoir, like in-depth thoughts on it.
Pretty soon we'll have it to where you can also find it on my Buy Me a Coffee. I don't know
Yeah, we
how to
just
set
haven't
it
got
up.
it
I've
completely
got to
set up
help me.
yet.
So
We're still in the process.
yeah.
Let me put the phone down and put this over here on this TikTok and pin it. I want to put it in the comments here too, so that y'all can, because I don't have it linked on TikTok yet either. So, buymeacoffee.com/Apple Dream, and then Brandy's is dot. You can also access the jewelry and stuff there too.
Stacy said, "I love you, girls. My dad had a big heart. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
He was a good man."
He would go out of his way no matter what to make sure I was good. Always. No matter
There
what.
was a few of us in the county that if the girls needed rides, if they needed a place to stay, a place to wash clothes, a place to sleep for a night or two, a place to get something to eat, we were kind of scattered throughout the county. I was one, her dad was one, and it made us have to deal with the legal system a lot because we was harassed for it,
Yeah.
for helping them. We dealt with a lot of harassment and our own situations. And, they would run our reputations into the dirt. I
Yeah.
mean, to the point that, you know, all the years of being good, not getting in trouble, not doing anything, it didn't matter. It didn't matter, because we helped others. We automatically became the enemy, I guess. So
Couldn't pin the comment. Why? Let me pin the comment. Well,
that's like this whole trial, this whole thing, it's national, it's big and everything, but there is so many stories that, are not being talked about or not, you know, being discussed. And, some people's not ready, there's so many layers to this that, it's hard. It's really hard to pick something and kind of
yeah.
peel it. It's like an onion. There's a lot of levels to it. So, I think our main
With
thing is,
offenders. There's all kinds of teachers here, retired ones, that are sex offenders. Yes.
yeah, that too. They had one that they just transferred schools, wasn't it? First time he got caught, they just transferred schools. Like that would solve the problem. And then he got caught again. What? Yeah. So, that's another thing that Letcher County just, it's
Yeah.
like, wow, okay,
Yeah.
that really happened.
Froze up.
So,
Well, I guess I'm done on TikTok.
as you're dead.
Tablet's dead. Tablet's dead. It's not going to hold charge. Okay. So that's the end of that one. Okay. Okay, let's see. She said, all right, do you want to call it a day? We're at an hour and a half. I think it's been a pretty good episode. We've covered a lot of ground.
Covered a lot of stuff. chit-chatted and talked and stuff. You know, I had fun. I just hope everybody had fun.
Yes.
That's the point.
Absolutely. Let's put our little thingies up here for everybody. Here's Brandy's. It's up at the top left-hand corner of my screen there. And then here's mine. And like I said, you can access the jewelry. There's a sale on this right now. For the day, it will be $10 sets still.
Yeah.
And then here's the shadow work journal. There's space in it to draw and write and stuff too after each prompt, and like a little, a little guide on how to work your way through it. Awakening Through Shadows, the memoir. So where did my... There we go.
Got it.
Righty.
And then I think, was we going to do one tonight or this evening?
Yes.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. We'll come back and chit chat again with everybody.
Yes, we'll see y'all this evening. Y'all have a good day, a good afternoon. I don't
All
think
right,
it's
guys.
a split. Let me just say this real quick. She said it's hard to believe the county is split. I don't think it's so much split. It's not like it's split 50-50. It's very proportionate to the ones who are standing up and defending the predators are few and far between now.
Yeah.
We're making progress. People are starting to open their eyes. So I
Yeah.
just hope
Like I
that
said, it's just, like I said,
I
it's
just
just been
know, especially
hard.
after that interview that Jeremy Bartley gave, after rewatching that, I feel like that this trial is going to blow the lid off of a lot more than what we already have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so too.
Yeah. All right, guys. Y'all have a good day. Have a blessed